Gennady Golovkin versus Dominic Wade and Roman Gonzalez versus Williams Arroyo is this weekend in California. So I'm just going to talk about these fights briefly, and we'll crack on with the prediction straight after. Um, we'll go with Roman Gonzalez first. Obviously, I've seen Gonzalez. Of course, I actually saw him before he was being pushed on HBO and pound for pound number one. Very good fighter, very skilled fighter. The problem is his weight class, his nationality. He's not given. Of course, now he's only given the credit that he probably deserves. But beforehand, his win against Juan Francisco Estrada, he wasn't actually given any credit up until now. Since Estrada's actually holding two belts in the weight class, and you know it's difficult. I mean, for Gonzalez, I mean he's a flyweight. He's I think he's a comfortable flyweight. I don't think he should move up to super fly. He could probably even move down to light fly and be big enough there. But people are saying for him to face Naoya Inoue, I can't see that happening. Inoue is too big, too strong for him, in my opinion. Even though Gonzalez is very skilled. Um, and he's facing an opponent, a very experienced opponent, an opponent I wouldn't expect him to lose against. But nevertheless, stranger things have happened. McWilliams Arroyo is the brother of Joe Arroyo, who who holds the IBF Super Flyweight title. I'm not sure if he still holds it. He might have lost it. I heard something was wrong with the purse bid, and the IBF cancelled the fight or something like that. That belt was actually held by Zolani Tete, and McJoe Arroyo was the mandatory challenger. He Zolani Tete actually vacated the belt because he was only getting paid about 20 grand in UK money to fight, which was not enough. And yeah, I mean, I think it was 20 grand. It might have been somewhere under £100,000, but relatively less. He got a really small amount. That's hence why he vacated. But yeah, I mean, I'd expect Gonzalez to win this fight pretty comfortably. I'd probably say stoppage win, mid to late rounds. Arroyo is decent, but I'd expect Gonzalez, someone of Gonzalez's caliber and stature, and his skill set to really, put it on Arroyo and stop him, relatively comfortably. He did have the odd moment here and there against Brian Viloria, but again, that's expected. It does happen to every fighter, every top fighter here and there sometimes. I mean, Sergey Kovalev actually got knocked down by Blake Caparello, who's actually fighting, I think, next week against Andre Durrell. So it does happen to every top fighter, but they tend to get over it swiftly. Uh, but yeah, I'll go with Gonzalez mid to late stoppage. Uh, Moving on, Gennady Golovkin versus Dominic Wade. I've actually watched a fair bit of Dominic Wade in the past uh, before this fight was announced. For me, Wade is he's. I watched his fight against Sam Solomon. I would say he's skilled to an extent. He's pretty decent. Nothing really special. He does what he needs to do. He's tricky. He's a bit awkward. But against Sam Solomon made him look really bad. I mean, Sam is one of those opponents that are very tricky, very unorthodox, very awkward, slippery. So there, I'm not really surprised that he didn't look so good against him. But if you're not looking great against Sam Solomon, it doesn't sorry, it doesn't really bode well for your chances against GGG. GGG cuts off the ring well, excellent footwork, good punching power. I wouldn't say people rave on about his power. I think it's more, uh, you know, the way he times people, his accuracy, and it's more thudding. I think Matthew Macklin actually did say in his post-fight interview when he lost against Golovkin, it's very thudding. It's stiff clubbing. You can't really take too much of it. It's but he's very accurate, very precise. He cuts off the ring very well. He's the complete fighter at 160 for me. For me, he's not even a 160 fighter. He's probably a 154 fighter. But he's dominating opponents. He's looking really strong, really really good. He looks like he has a really good chin. So, the sky's the limit for Golovkin. 168, I think, would be a stretch too far. I think he'd struggle a bit with, the top end opponents. But we'll see what happens with Golovkin. I'd go with Golovkin again, mid to late stoppage. Wade will be competitive for the early rounds. I think he might make it a bit tricky and awkward, like someone such as William Monroe did. But I don't think he'll come make you know. I don't think it'll be too much of a bother for Golovkin, and I think Golovkin will stop him quite handily and quite easily, if I say so myself. Golovkin and obviously Gonzalez, they're number one and two, supposedly in the pound for pound rankings. Uh, I'd have to disagree and probably go with. I'd probably have to go with Sergei Kovalev as number one. His level of opponents is really, really good. His devastating knockout power. He's actually got really, really underrated boxing skills as well. So I'd have to go with Kovalev as number one. But the pound for pound discussion is always up for interpretation, and some people will even have Terence Crawford as number one. So it really depends on people's personal preference and how they feel comfortable putting these certain fighters in certain positions. Some people had Tim Bradley quite high up before he's lost to Pacquiao, and Pacquiao sliding down. Now Pacquiao's gone up, so it really depends on how you see things and how you want to vote people in a certain position. I personally think Kovalev's number one. Then you could kind of filter in the rest. I did have Tim Bradley quite high, but he's probably slipped down slightly. And there's a few other people here and there, but obviously there'll definitely be people that many people haven't heard of, such as Takashi Uchiyama, who fights super featherweight, and he's a WBA champion in that weight class. So there's many fighters. Francisco Vargas is also a good fighter. Uh, there's Rancis Bartholomew at lightweight. Jorge Linares could have been in there. He's got injured again though. So there's a lot of fighters there, but it depends on how people are putting people in their pound for pound rankings. Is it just skills, or is it opposition, or is it a combination of both? So yeah, let me know your thoughts on all of that, especially the two fights and in particular the pound for pound rankings. Very interesting. Please leave the thumbs up if you enjoy the video. Uh, as I said, comment, share, and subscribe so it gets out to our larger audience. And yeah, PM me, tweet me your thoughts on all of this. And yeah, take care, guys, and I'll speak to you soon. Peace.